Okay, good afternoon and welcome to all you viewers here to Durbanville in Cape Town. There is the Under-18 International Series 2026. Game 3 of what has been an excellent day of rugby so far. It is the SA Under-18 schools versus French Under-18. Round 1 of this competition, and I think no better person to be with in booth than a gentleman who knows this environment extremely well. As we just look at the weather, it has been slightly chilly as we've driven up to this week, but yeah, it is good condition so far. As we've seen from the previous games, excellent rugby playing conditions. The supporters have really come out to support the Under-18 team, and as I was saying, that I'm joined by James Winstanley, who knows this environment extremely well. James, please paint the picture before we get into the match details.
Oh, it's a real privilege to be here, Kenny. Let's turn our attention to the French team. I think we know so much about the South Africans, but in terms of the French team, they're comprised of over 36 regional academies. The French Rugby Union spent some 60 million euros in terms of rugby development. So these guys not coming through the typical schools route we have. If you had to speak of the similar sort of academies, yes, we also number them in that same school-like environment. But the players come from all different backgrounds and then meet at these regional academies. And then many of them start boarding at under 16. I've come to learn, a friend of mine in France, former player, his son is now in one of the regional academies at Colomiers. He's going into a boarding environment. So very similar in structure. Obviously, full-time training with school. We are different. We are school with full-time training.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, there's a lot of excitement around this Under-18 team. There's names galore here. For us to start singling out people before the game kicks off would almost be a disservice to some of the boys in this team. Obviously, there's some fantastic continuity in the coaching staff. Loazi's in his now 5th season with the SA Under-18 teams. He's really grown into the role as the head coach. Incredible season last year, record scores, and I'm expecting, as we all are, as we've come to expect through our national team, through our baby box, the Under-18s to follow suit and wear that badge with pride today in the northern suburbs in Cape Town.
Yeah, certainly. You couldn't have wrapped it up better for us then, James. And just having a look at this French team, you have spoken about them coming from different regions, and I suppose the key thing is that how can they get onto the same wavelength and be connected, as would say in rugby, so that they can make sure they're at their best. Because when you face this side in picture right now, you have to have every single thing, every system, every little detail has to fire on the day. Otherwise, you're going to be under pressure.
100%, but what has been a real note in this, you would say, in the last decade, the French top 14 got very boring, and they've gone back to their original French flair. That was their DNA. That's very much in full display at the moment. And also understand the rule changes in their youth section. They're not allowed to tackle above the waist up until about under 12 or under 13. So everything is pushing towards continuity and offloading from a very early age. So you would expect less in the way of structure from the French team, particularly around the set phases, and much more in the way of evasion, passing, and keeping the ball alive.
Okay, so would there be a close synchronization in terms of the top 14 sides that we see, Toulouse, Bordeaux? Is there that type of mindset to want to play that French flair of style with the mix of a bit of physicality with your forwards? Because we have seen France have sort of their main team has adopted that style. Is there any similarities between them and this Under-18 side?
And we're going to find that out shortly, Kennedy, isn't it? Because that's the program they're working towards. That's what they're trying to achieve, is that they want to be able to play the power game. If you ask which team on the planet can match South Africa physically up front, it would be the French. And at the same time, not at the expense of the running game, the evasion, the continuity, the flair as well, and most certainly the unpredictable. So I think we're going to have to be on our toes here in the commentary box as both teams line up for their anthems.
Yeah, certainly great pictures here in Durbanville, Cape Town, as the two national sides are to prepare for the national anthems.
We are observing a minute's silence here, folks, for that tragedy that took place 2 years ago for the French player that was lost at sea. One of the things that's very visible, obviously with the influx of Polynesian players that have come into the system over a number of years, becoming residents, having children, then seeing them flourish and come into the French system.
Yeah, and of course the African influence from Ivory Coast and Algeria, and a lot of them have started obviously coming through. So it is round one of the Under-18 International Series of 2026. And these are the team list. If James, you could go through this French team for us.
So always for me, have a look at the number 8 for me. Typically your talisman and most proficient athlete on the field in terms of go-forward properties. Fredette at 9 for me. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring in terms of base passing versus shaping and speed of pass. And then Trillo, the bag of tricks between run, pass and kick. And then, of course, your finishes in the outside spaces.
It is a strong team that has been named by the French team. And, of course, it's the Under-18 schools. And you can talk us through this team. You know them very well, James.
So there are pressure points across the board here. Juvan Burden returning to the Under-18 scene. Stefan van der Pfeiffer from the Bulls. Jamie Wimble had an outstanding season with Northwood. And then, of course, Captain Jacobus de Villiers. Watch that, man. I think the Battle of the Eights is going to be absolutely royal. Mikhail Boyce has had a fantastic season for Paarl Gymnasium. The versatility of Ethan van Billion, his athletic prowess between run, pass and kick, something to really keep your eye on. Tian Basson. Aaron Nelson of Graham College has had a really back-to-back season. It's always impressive when a grade 11 can do that as 12. And Nesu Kozieni coming in, having not been in the side previously, has been promoted now into the Under-18 side of Northwood. Love his aerial game. And of course we speak about the pocket rocket himself, Lamla Ngadezi. Catch him if you can.
Well, certainly Grey College will have been calling that you catch him if you can. And of course, just correct him, James, there with the coach
Yes,
of the SA schools.
so head coach Loazi Zankma, now of St Albans College, previously Hudson Park in East London. And then let's just speak to that front row as well. Nicholas Salamoussis, a tight head. He's been absolutely outstanding for Michael House this season. A bit of a mix-up between the teams here. Obviously the toss, maybe we'll call it a
game jitters because they're not quite sure. The referee's not quite sure.
Or a language barrier.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Go left or lungs or whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all is sorted out, and certainly the game is ready to kick off here.
So it will be South Africa playing from left to right on your screens from Billion.
And there we're off in a long kick flat that has been kept in by the French players as they try to just move the ball a lot wide. Real intention already. Trying to set a standard here, the French. Now shape as they are keeping the ball moving and trying to run out of their own 22. Very surprised. Trilo. Oh, he's been charged down there. Now there's huge pressure. The Springboks are able to regain the ball here.
Fantastic pressure from Wimble on the kick there.
Fredette trying to just look for options to try clear the ball. But SA Schools really putting a lot of pressure right into that 22. And the French already showing their hand, trying to run out of the 22. Early signs here.
Yeah, hugely unsuccessful. No lack of intent from France. They went coast to coast in the 22 and then as a result charged down. Fantastic jump at the front there from Burden.
Charles Whitehead there.
I want to draw your attention to the number 5 lock there, Carnot from France. He's definitely exceeding 2 meters.
There's real size there in that French pack. Tall players.
Isn't that the joy of international rugby, when the cream rises to the very top, the finest athletes in the land?
Yeah, Charles Whitehead there with the throw-in. Yeah, you can see they're just catching it on the outside shoulder there of Burden. So the first line out not going as planned here for the SA School side. Jonas Fredette to put the ball in. Steady scrum. A bit of pressure on the far side there. Now trying to get width, and this is good play here from the French team. And they found some good space, and there's a lot of space out wide there. It was great, a run to kick, and again, not kicking with the left footed, or rather kicked it with the right foot. There was space there, so they forced that backfield of the SA School side to just rotate and allowing to just give a bit of space. Excellent play. Look at that exit.
What made that play was the speed that the French backline took that ball. There was good deception on the midfield, allowing them time to get the ball to the edge. And South Africa find themselves in their half with the line out. Nice take in the middle here.
Yeah, well set. Trying to get a bit of good momentum here. Whitehead has got his ball, and there the ball has been lost backwards, but Boise is able to just clear, and that's a good kick. Gained well in the air. Now a bit of play to play out wide. There's lots of space here for the SA Schools, and they've got wide now. Making good headway. Boise from Billion. The forwards just setting up in the middle. Yeah, back pass here. Oh, slightly just in front of Whitehead there, and the referee says play on. No knock on, and it's try time. Ooh, are they going to bring it back?
Well, that whole episode, Kennedy, came from the line out. South Africa won the middle ball, set them all. It did spray out, but a fantastic contestable kick by Boise. And the thing that I've really enjoyed about Kozienyi was I noticed him at the Wilde-Claver tournament against Paul Boys, and he was stealing the ball out of there as he did there. South Africa really intent about width in this early exchanges, looking to put some flight themselves.
Yeah, lovely backdoor pass there, and was it the right pass just to send Whitehead to go meet the ball, already moving forward. And we talk about movement onto the ball, and that was a great example, but just slightly a bit forward there for the flank, for the hooker. Scrum on that 10-meter mark, just in their half here. France, they've already shown that they're going to move the ball in the back line again, straight to the 12, and this time they decide to kick into space. This ball looks like it's going to roll right past that dead ball line, and right idea, but of course the execution wasn't as accurate as they would have wanted to.
And of course the slight breeze behind France's back there. What I did enjoy there is that it actually looked like they were shaping to run, but then opted for the kick. There was a space, so the French backs are acutely aware of the opportunities that exist on the field at the moment. South African scrum showing some early dominance. This will be an opportunity here on their own put in to control when they release it.
It was Philippe Roudant, the captain, inside centre for the French team, with the mistimed kick that has resulted in a scrum. And a great opportunity because you've got the mid-scrum that opens up both sides, and of course it's about you whether you read which side you want to attack here. Steady scrum there. Boise with the feed in. Quick ball. Now backline have decided to go to the left-hand side. That's good defense early on by France, but of course not able to put them away. Again, referee saying release. The tackle has been made. Now the pod has decided to just carry the ball. Seems to be a bit of offside here from the French team, but the referee says play on. Now offload without real control has resulted in a setup in that 5-meter mark. They still haven't gone over the advantage line here. Have the South African team. Van Biljon now is going to decide to run, and he's found a lot of space and has entered into that 22 area. Ngadezi now offload, and just a bit of panic there from the outside backs, but a wonderful run there by Ethan Van Biljon.
What is a huge surprise here is playing a lot of Van Biljon, less off 9, playing through the forwards there. Van Biljon spotting the space. Fantastic steering run from the man from the northern suburbs. Close to home. Ngadezi there looking, finds Kepe. Unfortunately, he lobs the grenade, and it literally is the case of one more phase. South Africa looking very threatening with the ball, using all of the field.
What's been encouraging so far is that the South African schools team has really decided to attack the outside space.
There's certainly some different pictures compared to years gone by. Particularly given the preparation time. The team has ultimately had 2 training sessions, 2 field sessions. They've got a combined units, attack, defense, kicking game, all in 2 sessions. Obviously, they've had a walkthrough on the Monday. Huge familiarity with the program. The captains yesterday. So huge ambition in limited time. Fantastic intent here.
And I suppose it's all about the team being connected and trying to be on the same page so that they can go through their systems. But an option for Suta, one of the brothers that are in this French team. Does well. Good delivery. And they've decided to just set it up in the 22. Philo with the long kick, not looking to kick the ball into touch. Now, South Africa have got an opportunity to counter. Kepe does well to just set the ball up. And there's a counter there. Boise was exposed but was able to just get it away. Now there is a bit of space out wide. Oh, this is good running. And the top pass, but the touchline's flag has already gone up. And unfortunately, they're going to have to come back. But exciting times from the wingers. Kepe was way out. He was on the right-hand side. And again, looking to probe those outside channels. Real intent being shown here by the SA schools.
It wasn't Nesu Kozieni skirting with the touchline. They're still managing to beat the defender, stays in touch, and unfortunately there.
The game has been played between the 222s so far.
France with a clean line out. Nice middle ball on the tall 5 lock. Not making any inroads with the ball. France, it's been a turnover here. Here's an opportunity for South Africa on the transition. Basson finds Van Biljon. Out to the wide channel. Ngadezi with a steering run here. Are they going to stop him? No, they're not. First blood to South Africa from the turnover, Kennedy. That's your language.
Transition at its best. Lamla Ngadezi representing Grey College and Free State Province, has scored the first try of this match. And go figure, it is off a shift moment that has resulted in the first try here for South Africa.
All started with the line out here. The ball is popped over, one in the line out. Boise doing well, and Basson equally doing well to draw that first defender. And South Africa aware of the opportunities in the wide space. France was set up to attack from the maul. Their backline alignment was such that they were looking to utilize it, and as a result not finding that defensive connection fast enough for South Africa.
Yeah. And it's about recognizing which space is open at in that short space of time after that turnover that gives you the real opportunity to score. And Gadezi was able to capitalize on that, and it is 7 points to 0 after 10 minutes in this game. SA Schools lead the French Schools team.
Well, we call that one a full house, Kennedy.
Yeah.
You've made a line break, a visit, and a score all in one.
Oh, yeah.
0 tackles.
He is a try-scoring machine, isn't he? He's been lighting it up for Grey College in the past 2 years as he's represented their first team.
And of course, one of the few outsiders joining the Stormers next year, not a native of the Western Province school system.
Yeah, good kick there from France to restart the match. Right, now South Africa setting up a pod to give Boise an option to go contestable. He is a left-footed, and that's a good pressured kick, and well taken by the French team. They've won the scraps now. How are they going to play advantage? No, referee says a double knock-on, so it is going to be an area of real contention, because the contestable kicks have become an important part of rugby.
Fantastic climb there once again by Koscielny. That really is his point of difference. Expect a lot of bombs on that right-hand touchline. Of course, it suits the left footer as well in the form of Michael Boise. So those two, real opportunity to gain territory and the ball back.
Yeah. And I'm sure they've been practicing, of course, just to link up between that to get the timing right. And there was a great example of it. But it is a scrum for the French team just past that halfway mark. Trilo decides to come back to the short side, and will that be some real benefit? But again, not staying on their feet, and now Trilo's decided to take a quick tap. He is just questioning that SA Schools defense, as they've sort of slowed it down now. Not running with some real purpose here are the French loose forwards. Now deciding to come out wide. Fredette looking to play his forwards out wide. A short play, they've decided to come back to the short side. And that's a powerful defense there by the forwards. Slow ball. And just a little tip away there from the French team. Now deciding to go contestable kick from Fredette. That's slow ball. They've done well to regain that contestable kick. Now, are they going to look to just spread it out wide? There is a bit of space out wide, but they've decided to just set it up there through the middle. Fredette out to his ace man. There is the captain. Now they're starting to flow, and this is wonderful. Break through the middle, and that's a tackle. Oh, there was no hands in that tackle, but referee says play on. Off the foot, no knock on. This is really good play here from the French team as they advance closer to that try line. Only 2 meters away now. Here's this French under-18 team. Now the forwards just looking to try pick and drive around, but that's good defense. Referee is playing advantage now. There's an offside marker there. Now, back door out wide. There is space. Certainly, this is going to be a try if they can get into the corner. Oh, wonderful defense. And they're still trying to play advantage here as they try to make their way around. And they have. Referee says it's come short there. Referee says no, he'll bring it back to the penalty, but certainly it was a 2-on-2 with a bit of space there. The French could have made better decisions there, but of course they were playing under advantage.
So the whole thing about that started with the French scrum. The ball squirted out the side. Tredet was under pressure. France stayed in the middle of the field, were going nowhere. Went to the contestable kick and regained it. So that was fantastic understanding of momentum. Finished going forward. We're not winning through running. Regained possession, and then came the flair thereafter, the continuity and popping. And it was the outside centre, Tom Juin, who actually could have just run over the line himself there. He'd be a little bit disappointed. Opted to pass to a marked man when he had a clean space. But nonetheless, great passage of play from France. Looking like the tap penalty here.
Yeah, quick tap. Suter was lining up to go, but they've decided to just play that outside pod. Under the poles now, just a meter away. Again, patience is going to be the key here as they pick and go. And they've gone through. There is the try. Powerful work here from this French team, and it was about time. They needed to get back on the board. They had to answer, and they've done well to tot it down right under the poles.
What they have demonstrated is a good awareness of decision making, best option decision making, and also just the composure. They've got to the 22. They didn't waste an opportunity, and from the penalty, the tap play and conversion, also varying their pressure points. We have a fantastic, compelling game on our hands here, Kennedy, of two top-class under-18 international sides.
Yeah. Score is certainly going to be 7 points all as we approach the 15th, 16th minute mark of this match. Really good pressure being put on by the French team as they got into that 22. They made sure that their systems and support was in place as we take another look at this try, but it was really all about the forwards here. They were able to just slow it down. Look how he sends his flanker out until he can open up a bit of space, and there he dots it down. Smart play here.
Yeah, South African body position's a little bit upright there, so close to the line. They'll need to adjust.
Van Biljon now with the restart. Deep into that 22. They've already shown signs that they're not afraid to move the ball, but at times they also can play conservative. Ball has been kicked backwards anyway. Referee says play on. Now, strong run, and they've just set it up just past the halfway line. And there's no real cleaners at that breakdown four. And it's a tough. Boise decides to also take the quick tap. And unfortunately, he's knocked it on now. This presents an opportunity for the French team, but an ill-timed little chip there has resulted in the SA Schools team getting a bit of ball.
Burden here on the carry. Boise. Van Biljon playing through the back. Basson. Paul Roos Gymnasium captain Clement McAlaney. South Africa going narrow here, changing direction. Mgadezi on the short side. Beats one. Beats two. Gets the offload to Nesu Kuznei. South Africa on the touchline here. Very flat pass there from Van Biljon. Wimble beats his defender. Unfortunately loses the ball, does Wimble. France here on the counter. There's opportunities here for France if the ball sticks, but it doesn't look like it's going to. It is a double transition. Nope. Blast of the whistle for us.
Yeah, a double transition is something that you don't want to. And again, not being able to take those opportunities is rather concerning. A lot of ball going, deflecting out of hands. And what do you make so far of just in terms of the handling, the catch and pass?
So that all started, the origin of that was the restart. And France saying that they're not going to kick the ball dead from 22s. They don't want to give South Africa the line out. They keep the ball in field. The first handling error was de Villiers, knocks it back. At the breakdown, unsupported. Quick tap by Boyce thereafter. Then it changes hands again. Wimble with the line break, another handling error.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, but I think one of the things for the viewers at home is that all of our episodes, passages of play, we're north of 60 seconds. We're hitting 90-second passages of play. This is going to be a real test of player fitness. There's no surprise here. There's a water break. Yeah. We've seen a lot of ball in play time now within the 18 minutes. Yeah. I think those 26-man squads are going to be in full use today.
They're going to be tested, and I think this is where we got to tap in to your experience, James, because you know this environment extremely well. Around this marker, score is 7-7. What would you be possibly messages could you be passing?
Yeah,
the team?
the first thing is we don't want to get into the French thing. The quick taps has got to go. We've got to go to the corner and come back to structure. That way you control it. If you get into a high frantic tempo game against the French, you're almost playing into their hands because of the amount of transition that's going to take place. So just go back to a little bit more of the territory, control of the ball, tie them in. It's not to say we can't go wide, but do it on your terms.
Yeah, so you're looking for moments of pressure, so we can put pressure on them. Fredette with ball in hand for the French team. Of course, the scrum hasn't been stable enough for the referee to allow that feed in. As we approach the 20-minute mark of this first half, the score is 7 points all, where there has been excellent so far. Great rugby playing weather here in Durbanville, Cape Town. Just a slight little breeze that was earlier on around about kickoff, but seems to have just lowered down a little bit. The French team have got a scrum in their 22, and that's huge pressure. Referee allows to play on. There is the penalty.
And that was the opportunity for the penalty, Kennedy. And again, so now we just have this momentum swing where you have the choice, go to the corner, take the points if you want to be the pragmatic route. It's just that power element to our game that we can't neglect.
Yeah. You can see there Charles Whitehead again putting some, really urging his props to drive through, straight through the middle. Really good set piece there from the SA Schools team. Now they've opted for the line out. Many would have possibly gone for the 3 points, but I think they know what it is they are looking for. They do have some real athletes in terms of that driving maul, and they want to see if they can establish that. Of course, we know that this is a 3-day series. Yeah, well taken from the top then, well set. Already getting some momentum, and it's on its way to that try line. Whitehead is going to look to secure. Referee is already playing advantage. This is certainly going to be a try. They're over the try line. Yes, they are. Brilliant driving maul from the SA Schools team, and it is the captain who's dotted it down.
And that's the signature trademark of the Springbok game. Win the scrum penalty, go to the corner, one pass play into the maul. De Villiers joining at the back there, and all of a sudden the momentum swing is firmly back in your favor.
You did mention do not open it up. We do not want to live in chaos, but of course we can cause our own chaos through our set pieces, and this was excellent work here from the SA Schools team. And what I loved about it is that Whitehead had ball in hand. There was the transfer to his captain, and that was a wonderful play because the French players were starting to get through, and that's an excellent try there.
Basson, like he does for Paul Ruiz, joining them all as well, making sure, getting the boys over the line. Had the penalty advantage.
Yeah, the 2 points have been added, so it is 14 points to 7.
Well, if anyone is familiar with the kicking conditions of the northern suburbs, it is Ethan van Billion. What a stellar season his school team have had. Shout out to Stellenberg High School.
We do have to give a shout out. Jacobus de Villiers with the try there for the SA Schools team.
Kaloli and Jean-Dre getting set for the restart. This is a key moment. The third set piece that has grown in so much importance. If you can take this restart, transfer the pressure, then the points are really on the board. Dreyer underneath. Great pressure from the French winger, De Bernard.
Yeah, really well taken, and just set up in that tram, it gives you a lot of width as we see that the shape being set up there from Boise. Of course, he's a left-footed kicker. He's kicked exceptionally well so far in this game. Again, another contestable kick, and put well into that distance, and if they've been able to recover it, now they're starting to make some good headway. Boise, again with the pass release. From Bouillon with a little vurvur kick, but it could work out. It was kept in there by Trillo. Does well to just set up for his loose forwards to come around the corner. We really haven't had much ball here, have the French side. That's a forward pass. The referee says play on. Of course, who are we to call? Yeah, but he does pick it up. But yeah, you just feel that the French sort of nervous, not quite sure what to do once they do have the ball, and perhaps that's a little bit of the pressure that has started to build up.
Yeah, and that's the mission accomplished. You know, South Africa have just scored the try, received the restart, set the base, contestable kick, win back possession. So it's just that transfer of pressure post-score for the South African team. Excellent execution. There's our quarterback pass, unfortunately, from Ruda, the captain. So South Africa have definitely taken control of this sort of last 10 minutes of the game. France coming back strongly to equalize on the scoreboard, but now conceding field position. South African scrum.
Of course, pressure has already been put. We've seen that penalty that went against the French team. But Boise here with an excellent platform to be able to get your backs moving. Boise. Van Biljon out wide. Gadezi now gets it out to his winger. There's a fancy pass, rather unnecessary. You just feel that they really didn't capitalize. That was good front foot ball that were given from the scrum, and just again, I suppose the creativity around that backline move not quite as sharp as they would have wanted.
So the best option within that play, if you have a look, unfortunately, if we were a little bit further back, Gadezi had the inside pass, and unfortunately for Kozeni, he's now run towards the outside shoulder twice. Could have cut back in field. He had adequate support, and that back row, they're onto the front foot. They've won the gain line, and they're able to try and stay on top of the French team.
Yeah, you just got to feel as a winger, if you're close to that touchline, you've got to work back into that 10-meter mark, and that way to keep continuity going. But of course, we've seen already a penalty against the French feed in at a scrum. Could they possibly be under pressure again? Already that's an early shove, and there they would do well to just get it out of there. Now Fredette gets it out to his captain, and this has been an excellent move. They've been able to just shut him down just past that 22-meter mark. A little bit of chaos there, but that's what they do love, the French side, especially when it's in their own 22.
Massive tackle by de Villiers there.
Now Trilo tries to clear his line, but again, not getting great connection and just only making about 5 meters into that touchline.
That's a fantastic defensive set for South Africa because they've survived here. The French had numbers out wide. Had the early pass gone there, South Africa were in all sorts of trouble, but unfortunately for the scrum half, he held on a bit long. He's now on the ground. He can't pass the ball, and that's where the French lost their shape, lost their way, and then the kick coming under pressure. Great pressure by the SA Under-18 team on the kicker. Loose kick gets them another line-out opportunity just outside the French 22 as we see one of the players down receiving attention.
Yeah, it looks like it's Arthur Hurst. He's just receiving a bit of attention, but you have to obviously look at in terms of the change in the travel that the French side have had to. Do you think that would have any effect?
Not so much. So they actually of the international teams, they arrive significantly earlier than most. So they get themselves a good plus sort of 7 to 10 days preparatory window versus the SA Under-18 side. Plus they would have had a camp in France. So I don't anticipate that the travel would have had too big a bearing on performance. I think they're just a little bit shell-shocked.
Yeah. Shooter with the excellent throw-in of the line-out, and this is a good drive here from this French side, and they've done well to just break away. Fortunately, very narrow in defense. A lot of their numbers are right into that 15-meter mark close to the touchline as they look to just try get a bit of go forward. A slight little knock on there. Referee says he does pick it up. Loving the match official's attention span, and he is recognizing little detail. And that's always a good sign of a referee.
Our young official is certainly on the ball today. So last time the SA Under-18 team went to width from a similar position.
Yeah.
There is some hard-running midfielders there in the form of Basson and Nelson.
They certainly are. So it'll be interesting to see if they look to use Kepe as well as he comes in from his blind side position, and see if they can just stack up the numbers and again maybe get the likes of Basson to cut hard lines and just force the French centres to make some decisions there.
Of course, Kepe coming from Queen's College in the Eastern Cape, renowned for his handoff. He's got a serious bear paw on him. Yep. So again, if you were looking to ask questions of the vacuum in the French 10-12, no better man.
He is the man for the job. So 14 points to 7. SA school side lead as Boise feeds in. Again, a messy scrum there. Interesting because already a penalty has been given against the French team for not absorbing the pressure.
So Salamoussis has had a good outing so far at scrum time, unfortunately on this occasion, but yeah, the French team just running all the way around the corner there.
They are certainly running around. Great crowd that has come out to support this SA under-18 school side.
Of course, the absolute pinnacle of every schoolboy is to play for the South African under-18 team.
Certainly is.
Special moment. This is the first time they've got to sing the anthem.
Yeah.
Against international opposition, should I say. They would have played in the SA Schools game. Yeah.
Elsewhere, Boise with the feed and wide pass out there to the midfield, and that's much better from Besson as they take it straight up the middle. Coming around is the captain as he gets good go forward meters over that advantage line now. Van Biljon out wide, and they certainly do have an overlap. They've decided to just cut in. That's what we're talking about. Work hard to get back into that 15-meter mark. Van Biljon, and unfortunately there it was passing man and ball. Yeah, the timing there not quite right.
Yeah. So there's some challenges when you play off of 10, particularly when you're entering the opposition's third, because that gives them on that second pass time to get off the line. So that's more of an opportunity to play off of 9.
Especially because you've got already there, you can see.
Makelele has very little time on the ball. No surprise with the handling error.
Yeah, shoot up the French hooker, well timed. He knew that he could come off because there is that space and line to be able to put some pressure, but it has been a well-balanced match so far. And I mean, the French showed their hand early on that they are willing to move the ball wide, especially out of their own half. And of course, 2 clinical tries that were scored by the SA Schools side as we approach the 20-minute mark of this first half.
Had quite a few scrums so far in this game. South Africa have had the better in terms of dominance.
And of course, that's why when you see a lot of handling errors, there is going to be, a few more scrums and of course a few more transition opportunities, and that's the nature of the game. So it's about who can capitalize on those moments, and of course who can capitalize on this moment, as this SA School side have done a few scrums ago. They were able to really show their dominance, and I'm sure they're trying to look for that hit again.
Yeah, just from a setup perspective, the French, there's a lot of movement before they go into the engaged. The front rows are shifting their weight from side to side, and the second rows on that last engagement process. This looks to be a lot more stable than the previous effort.
Fredette has to put it in and does it well, and I'm sure he's going to look to try get that ball. There's a little bit of a knock on there, but referee says play on. Now they're able to just find a bit of space in the blind side. Not making his tackle there was Boyson. Again, trying to just get busy around the ruck there. Trilo plays his lock forward, and a lot of offloads. As that is the French flair. They've managed to get it out wide, and they're getting some good momentum in that wide channel. Long pass. Again, the captain decides to just take it through to the midfield. Of course, a high tackle just around the neck there, as they have done well to get over the advantage line, have this French side. Certainly there's a steal there, but the referee says play on now with the inside pass, and he's going to wash his way, and there's a try. The referee seemed to have signaled that there was a bit of a infringement there, but the French continued to play, and certainly talking about French flair, oh, that was a spectacular try.
And an incredible finish there from the fullback, Sasha Cordino. The fancy footwork at the end, leaving Ethan van Biljon for dead. Just here, the interplay finds the fullback. Great skill from the French 5.
what a try. Talk about that little inside chicken wing from the lock. And it just seemed like there was a bit of stoppage there. And I think that's why there's hesitation. And there's a moment here where the referee has called both captains in. So we'll see how this plays out. But if anything, that was a stunner of a try.
Fantastic try. And that's the thing about the French, is that they're able to get that breach, that momentum in such circumstances that don't look clear and obvious that, you know, there's a momentum play coming here.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, yes.
Looks like a crock roll of sorts here, Kennedy. So
and that's why when the try was, busy happening, we weren't quite sure, because it seemed like some of the players had stopped, and this is probably the reason why. But, of course, as long as the right decision is made by the end of it.
So we are fortunate that we have the benefit of the TMO. Naturally, we can't see the replays, but long as the correct decision gets made in the end for both teams, of course. A little bit of a stoppage here. Gives South Africa a chance to regain possession. Unfortunately for Tian Basson, looks like his game's going to be cut early. He's being consoled by Doc Gershwin Korki, long-serving doctor for the SA Under-18 team.
And certainly, Basson has had a great start so far. There's a break in the match so far. As we have a look at this, this is the penalizable. There, he did try. He is trying his darndest to try hit the cock roll.
In fairness to Whitehead there, he had won the space over the ball. He was dominant.
So it is about winning the race to that breakdown. He certainly has done that. You know, I suppose, James, in terms of just you have been at these festivals or tournaments, I suppose. What are the standout features and things that you remember about being at these series?
I think the first thing is the anthem. I never forget the first time the anthem, and just how passionate the crowd just seems to go. Unlike a typical schoolboy game, there's a lot more passion behind the anthem that sticks out. And then obviously is the ability of the players learning. We have such a small time together, that your preparation window, but you've got to remember, these guys, they're all captains of their schools. They're exceptional athletes. They're in enhanced programs, so their ability to retain information very quickly is also a standout feature for me. And of course, the skill level. And the last thing I want to speak to is around positional specialization. These guys, the hookers, the throwers, Mikhail Boyce's box kicks have been on the money. Kozieni's ability to climb into the air. So everyone specializes in their position over and above having exceptional athleticism, decision-making skill set. So it really is a privilege to be a part of that environment.
And then tell me, so because it's such a short time, I mean, do you get there and maybe focus less on the system part of it and maybe on the individual positional skills, as you've just mentioned? Because I see a lot of teams say that if we can get our primers and if we can get our players to be able to make better decisions and execute them, that counts more than worrying too much about systems.
And that's why the selection process is incredibly important. You have to know in advance, and that's the beauty of our festivals and our EPD program, that the players are tracked from the under 16 and under 17 age, that they can see if there's any interventions needed, where their player is promising, particularly in terms of specialist skills, like as mentioned, the box kick, for instance. And I'll give a compelling example of Luke Doyle, the scrum half on the bench. They arrived under 16 camp, didn't have the box kick in his arsenal. By the time he got into the senior system, he was box kicking on the money. So those early interventions certainly make a big difference in ensuring this team is prepared for this competition.
Thanks for that insight there, James. And Van Biljon makes a positive clearance and advances his team right into that half.
And we speak to positional skills, line kicking. Can he advance his team all the way up the field?
For sure. 5-man line out. Whitehead finds his man, and there is the running driving maul. Always been a big fan of it because it catches the opposition unaware, and they've done well to advance here. 10 meters already have approached into that 22. Advantage is being played by the referee. Now it is time to free up the backs as Boise gets it away. Oh, well caught there by Frompillon. Just tackled by the 22 area. They come back to the blind side. Boyson playing his front rowers. There's a nice little tip pass, allowing his fellow player just to get past those defenders. Slow ball now. Boise with a wide pass, and that's gone straight through. This is going to be another try. Spectacular. Talking about hitting lines right at the right time and playing through advantage. And other teams would have opted to go for the penalty. They said, no, we're going to play through the advantage. Great try.
And that bit of continuity in the midfield there between your props here, Makaleli, fine Salamusis, and then of course the ensuing phase is Barker cutting the line. And the grandstand finish there by the right winger.
Yeah, you got to have that grandstand finish, especially when it's a well-worked try. And what I love about it, Boise just making sure that he's looking at the space around him, because if you are a good nine, is always trying to direct traffic by looking up and scanning and seeing where they are mismatches, and I think he did that exceptionally well.
Want to just bring to play here the referee. I mean, that started with a penalty advantage with the Maul. Fantastic middle ball and Maul from the South African pack. Got them the penalty advantage and then just allowed play to continue. It would have been easy. There was a repeat infringement there. Could have blown the whistle, didn't. And Barker cutting that line as he has done all season long.
He certainly has. And that's about connection, I suppose. That Barker knew that if I can hit that line, Boise will be able to find me. Excellent rugby, that is. So it's 21 points to 7. The SA Schools team are leading the French Schools team here. And a restart. Nice, well high, well taken in the air there. And set up for the forwards. And again, now just looking at that strategic way of getting a clean exit here. We spoke about this as being another set piece phase, getting a clean exit, and Boise's left foot has really caused a lot of problems. There's another one, a high hanging kick contest in the air, and the French did well as Fredette is able to just clear up from the back there. They've done well to just recycle and counter attack, and of course being able to get a penalty advantage now. Trilo trying to get his forwards to get a bit of good momentum, but they've been tackled behind the advantage line. And there's an old Gregan pass there from Fredette, who's trying to ask questions around the fringes, but the defense has been exceptionally solid so far, as the referee is going to come back for the penalty.
Yeah, 2 repeat infringements there. Could have even been blown earlier because only a little bit of contact in the air led to that loose ball on the ground. What I would say is the South African defence was resolute throughout that. There was no spaces available.
And it's a bit difficult to try probe around the fringes for Fredette, the number 9 for the French team, to try probe, especially if you're getting tackled behind the advantage line, because you're just not getting any momentum. Your forwards aren't getting any go forward, as you can see here, defended behind that advantage line.
Lovely tackle, Juvan Burden. First arrival, Cobus de Villiers making a menace of the breakdown.
Now, Shooter with ball in hand has thrown exceptionally well so far. Now a driving ball. Already scored from this as they decided to break down. Shooter doing well to just fight and tackle as Boyson is trying to bring him down. Now there is a tackle contest, the breakdown. Referee says hands out. Short little pod here as they try advance closer to that try line. Slow ball as they are slightly drifting sideways are the French side as they're trying to look for some outside gaps. They've decided to look to attack around that first, second, third pillar there. Pick and go again, just looking at the referee to ask him if there is some holding on. Referee says release the tackler. Oh, there's a bit of a knock on there, and that's good defense. What about winning that defensive sequence? That's a really good play here from the SA School side.
And also, what an outstanding contribution there from Cobus de Villiers, like his older brother, who of course is really making a name for himself in the world stage. But the youngster. There's an interesting study in sport where there's a younger sibling and the older sibling is more proficient, that the younger one sometimes exceeds. So I don't want to jinx this. Young Yaquibus is tracking well. That is the half time there, folks. Fantastic game we've had in so far to date. South Africa under 18 schools leading 21 points to 7. Stick with us as we join us for the second half.
We basically talking Matt. Welcome back to the second half between the French under-18 schools team against the South African schools team. It's been an excellent game so far, and yeah, a lot of standout players so far. James, who has stood out for you so far?
Yeah, I think Jacobus de Villiers has been very good at his cross-cover tackling. There was some unseen work, but he's certainly his first defensive breakdown arrivals. He's managed to disrupt the French ball, and that's put them on the back foot, allowed for the line speed to then get up in the French faces. If their ruck speed was much quicker, we've seen when they do get fast ball, they're able to cause a bit of carnage. Obviously, the try disallowed there would have brought the game back into level pegging. So I think he's really stood out. Obviously, Van Billion's had some really nice touches on the ball, and then Anesu Kozieni, in terms of his high ball receipt off the back of Boyce's kicks, have really been standout moments for me in the first half.
And I mean, as the French under-18 team makes its way onto the field, we've got Fredette and Trilo, the halfback pairing, who've really tried to pull the strings, although the gain line hasn't been in their favor. It's made it very difficult for them, as they, of course, in picture there, it is all smiles and enjoyment. And yeah, it is a key part of the players' journey in terms of them, you know, taking rugby as a pathway. A real important step in stone this under-18 international series is.
Well, as you mentioned, I mean, this is the first entry point into the Springbok rugby system, is the under-18 team. And the most likely, to be honest, the further and older you get, the less likely the chances happen. So it's a massive milestone. Huge credit to the players, to their families, to their teammates, to their coaches who played such a prominent role in their journey all the way along. We're starting to see the beginning of the subs there. So Apaleli Amani coming onto the field, also from Michael House. Two Michael House props.
Yeah. Just goes to give credit and what good work Michael House have been doing as we restart the second half. It is 21 points to 7. The SA under-18 schools are leading. Boise has had a very influential game so far. From Bouillon get the ball out wide, and they've done well. This is good advancement right into that far trams as they set up. Forwards just looking to occupy that midfield as they try open both sides. Continue to come same way. Backdoor pass there to Filio, and there's the cut back, and that's a wonderful line now. Now can they finish off? Kepe, the handoff is not needed. He's going to be in the corner. No, yes he is. A beautiful try here right at the beginning of this match, and they couldn't have asked for a better start. James, talk to me.
All began with Juvan Burden. A nice clean restart receipt there. Forelock climbing into the air, and off the back of that they were able to bring some width. There was a pullback pass. There was another pullback pass. Really enjoyed this line here from Barker. He's straightening up nicely. And fantastic width, and absolute full house yet again for South Africa from a restart receipt deep in their own territory, coast to coast.
Oh yeah. If you do the right things well, you'll get good results, and that is what has happened. Kepe scores his first try of this game, And they couldn't have started off any better. As Van Biljon is going to look to try convert the extra 2 points. It's a really good strike, and he's measured it absolutely well. You can just see the little bend of little Beckham at the end of it, and there's it's all smiles. But excellent work here, and just look at this pass. He hit the line. There it is. Beautiful timing. He was able to get it out to his winger. He knew what he had in him, and he cantered right through.
Of course, the difference Barker's made in this game. I mean, that's his second clean line break now. And it's the quality of that acceleration against the grain. He's coming back. He's not drifting towards the outside shoulder.
And credit has to go to him in terms of being able to identify space and have the timing and having the wits about you to be able to do your catch and pass at full speed. That's quite something.
And of course, he would have been playing with Ethan van Biljon now sometime, as well as Boise as a 9, 10, 12 access with the Western Province Craven Week team.
So it's about combos.
Yeah.
A restart kick there. Yeah, well taken in. Just set up there. The SA school side just using their forwards, and that's good tackle fight. Boise again with the contestable kick, a bit long. The other two were right on the money, just allowing the French team to get a bit of forward momentum here as they try to counter-attack. Looking for all the width, the French team. And it's all about continuity. I'm sure their coach would have just mentioned to them that they have to still try keep the ball moving, because this defense has been absolutely rock solid so far from this SA school side.
Amani certainly made his mark since he's been on the field. Very, very good dominant tackle. His return to action, Lucid Prop, is quick. Great turnover here for South Africa.
Transition time. Boise now gets his ball out wide. And not as accurate as they would have wanted. This forced them to come backwards, and a bit of pressure here being put on by the French team. But the referee says they didn't stay on their feet.
Yeah, they'd won the space over the ball there, and unfortunately for the arriving player, he just needed to carry on going forward, but he's lost his feet there, and with it the opportunity to get a turnover for the French team.
Now, Ethan van Biljon has got an opportunity to just enter into that French half. It's a good kick there. Really has been accurate in a lot of his positional duties as Ethan van Biljon. Now, yet another platform, an attacking platform here. Well taken, and again, the driving ball has been successful so far for the SA school side. Referee playing advantage, and that's what you want to do. We spoke about it earlier on, that you want to put pressure and through set piece, and that has been a result of excellent play. Boise attacks the short side. There is a bit of space, slightly forward pass there. Referee is going to bring them back now. It is a decision time for this French side, that they're going to have to be accurate. Of course, we know that the SA school side is going to look to put extra set piece pressure.
Yeah, I would expect this one here. In ideal world, Van Biljon sticking it on the 5-meter line. Unfortunately for De Villiers there, in terms of the replay, that's gone forward. Good skills from the 8th man. But again, as mentioned, if the closer Van Biljon can get this to that 5-meter line, the greater the likelihood to get the maul try.
It's funny enough, I've been in discussions sometime where our forwards coaches actually said they don't want it right on the 5-meter line.
Really?
They want it 10 meters out, because they've got obviously a special play that they wanted to execute. So yeah, it's always interesting when you think, no, I've got to get it as close as I can, whereas some are saying don't get it too close, because that sort of, messes up our strategies. But this is good positioning here from the SA school side. Yeah, well taken.
Nice clean
And
take.
again, really steady. Advantage, surely. The yellow card is going to have to come into play here, as again, they've decided to not take the penalty and look to play advantage, and they've done well. They've really worked themselves coming around the corner. strong defense, and just a meter away now. The forwards, not as accurate as they would have wanted, but it is penalty time, and there's going to be a little discussion here, certainly.
Yeah, I would expect a warning if nothing else. Nope, escalated, yellow card it is. So this is a really strong position for South Africa. They can look to put this game away here, literally in this next play. Give themselves some real scoreboard pressure and some ease. Fantastic take from Juvan Burden yet again. Whitehead, of course, accurate with the throwing.
Yeah, that combo between Whitehead and Burden has been outstanding. And what I love about it is that they're not settling for the penalties. They are looking to play that advantage and not looking for a sneaky little chip and a kick away, whatever it is. They're keeping it in hand and going direct. Whitehead now, the execution, they've done it well, and this is certainly on its way. It's getting closer, and it's a try time.
Too easy. Fantastic take
Way
from
too
Lodi
easy.
Champampa at the front of the lineup. Massive fan of his.
Yeah,
JP High School for boys.
Yes.
Made the excellent decision to come north of the Yuxgate to further his rugby career next year. But again, South African line-out really is the platform with which to build and apply pressure. They've already got the yellow card. Now they've got the complimentary 5 points. Win the restart yet again. And all of a sudden, they really are in the pound seat.
And it's so important that you make sure the moment that yellow card goes over, you've got to capitalize, because it is almost that scenario where you've got a side that's overloaded, and in many practices you practice overloads to be able to capitalize from them, and there is an excellent example of that. As they try add the extra 2 points, not successful, but of course the score is sitting at 33 points to 7. And it has been a really dominant performance by this SA under-18 school side so far. And the Pfeiffer, no stranger to crossing the try line. He's had a wonderful season so far this year. As the French schools start making their changes, of course, still yellow card. They've substituted their fullback. It's a nice high hanging kick there. Done well. They almost regathered the scraps. Just unfortunate not to have got that. But, James, any suggestions around what the French strategy should be around this time?
They need some possession. They've been defending now for quite a prolonged period of time, since the half-time. So we're looking at 9 minutes without the ball here. In that time, South Africa scored immediately from the start of the game on the restart. That's a big hammer blow to their confidence, particularly after the half-time messaging. Straight away, the doubt creeps in, and then South Africa back it up with a yellow card and a maul try. So at this point in time, just get your hands on the ball and try and apply some pressure and just get South Africa back into their territory. The French literally have been starved of the ball.
It doesn't help when you have to start subbing to make balances, of course, because of the yellow card. This would perhaps give the SA school side a opportunity to be able to attack, because there is a man advantage should they look to keep ball in hand.
I would say so. They've got a little bit of a breeze at their back as well. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong decision here. The territory and pressure game is working for them. Yeah. You have the luxury of being able to run the ball by virtue of the scoreboard.
Yeah, but the run to kick would be a great option. And I suppose this is where you look at your coaching. Have they prepared for these types of scenarios where your 8 comes out? Have you got moves that are set? And I think that's something that coaches should think about. An actual set play move that has got your number 8.
100%, particularly with the under-18 rules and having the 7 versus 7 scrum.
Now, scrum time for SA school side. Great platform. Now there is a bit of width. There was a bit of space on the outside there. We've decided to just set up on the reverse side. Again, just looking for that pragmatic way of being able to set up their kicking strategy. And again, a contestable kick here.
So we've seen a number of changes. Doyle is onto the field now, as well as Theo Boshoff in the hooker position. Fantastic tackle from Kwagga van der Vyver.
Yeah, there is the contested breakdown. The referee says play on. Yeah, not quite sure who's got ownership. Doyle decides to just bring out the ball. Now we've got a bit of room to play. Just as I say that, commentators curse him. But what's interesting is that before Doyle had made his way onto the field, I remember you had mentioned that those positional skills,
yes,
and you really put him under pressure because you mentioned about his contestable kicks as the French side have decided to take the quick line out to try get some advantage in terms of just making the game chaotic. And I suppose that could be the strategy here.
And that was the quick line out. But let's come back to that point about Doyle. So he's just come onto the field. We know, of course, he's a fantastic sniping and passing nine. He's always had it in his locker, but having to grow and develop his kicking game. Off the back of that contest, South Africa targeted the breakdown, won the turnover. Just, again, illustrating the importance of the EPD program.
Yeah. And of course, there's sequences that if you are able to just, understand them and and capitalize off them. Again, we spoke about sequence, contest, scraps, breakdown, and dominate. And that is, it's all about winning your sequences.
And I mean, the question remained at that scrum time, should they go to with the have the numbers advantage?
Yeah.
And one of the biggest tests is are you able to stay in system, even with the luxury of scoreboard?
Yeah.
You understand that, there's always this assumption that sometimes you need to start throwing the ball around because the circumstances demand it, but it's still international rugby.
Yeah, and I guess there is two ways to always look at it, and I suppose there's no right or wrong, but I suppose if you execute it correctly, then you get the right outcome. Oh, a penalty given straight away. Now they've tapped to try get a bit of momentum, and there is a line. Short line, and again offload without any control has resulted in another turnover as De Villiers now is able to just set it up. He's had a captain's innings off note, and again there's space out wide there. They surely should identify. Doyle tries to get them to get a bit of space. Of course, SA school side don't have numbers to be able to capitalize on that outside space. Slow ball and a turnover. Of course, at the breakdown they were able to capitalize. Now quick tap. There is a little chip kick is going to result in any advantage for the French side. No, it's not. Oh, Kepe has made his way around, and they're looking for space. They've found it. Now, certainly an overlap here. Doyle is going to have a clear run straight to the try line, and he dots it down with the exuberant dive. Doyle scores his first try.
His first international try. The people in Makanda at Graham College are cheering. You must know there's frenzied celebrations taking place in Grahamstown. But where did it come from? A loose kick from France. They take the quick tap, but then just running out of thinking there. If you take the quick tap, keep it in the hand, you chip it away. And one of the nice things there that Kepe did was buy a bit of time. It looked like he was running laterally, but actually what he did do...
time for his outside.
Exactly, and he caught the last defender. Came the mismatches there. And this time it'll be Ahmad Benardine from Wynberg.
Yeah, a learning aspect there. Again, while Kepe is buying you time, the work rate is important for those outside backs to reload, and that's what they did well in allowing the play to create space for Doyle.
And of course,
to score his try.
Him the beneficiary, and the little half jiggle in the air there.
Of course, yeah. And what would you give that dive out of 10?
I think it's a solid 8.
A solid 8.
A solid 8.
I'm not sure about the elevation. It felt
but
like
for me it was the hips.
The hips were wiggling.
It was the hips. That's what got in the 8.
The feet were still dangling.
They were, yeah.
You need a bit of height in there. Yeah. So two cards. Yeah, it's not looking pretty for the French side now. They're playing with 13 men as there is the restart. Right. Not able to take it cleanly there. Slight little knock on there. And the referee is going to play advantage to the French side and not quite seeing it clearly there. So he decided to come back to the scrum, but they are short of men, if anything.
So a little bit of a capitulation taking place here with the French team. Unfortunately, the handling errors are now creeping in with limited possession. This game is becoming increasingly difficult for them, and of course we've seen in the previous games. Here's that replay, unfortunately for Juvan Burden, not as successful on this occasion. The change is starting to come in for both sides, and it's this process now where both teams settle. Obviously, which one can come out of it? We saw in the last game with Georgia, they actually really capitalized on this this point in time with all the substitutions. As speaking of, we have another one taking the field.
Yeah, it looks like Shooter is coming back on. Hook up. Scores 40 points to 7. As, the second half has really been dominated by the SA School side. Some wonderful rugby being played and some great tries. It's a beautiful day for rugby here in Durbanville, Cape Town. It is hosting the Under-18 International Series for 2026. Now, the switch back into that little vacuum between the scrum by the French, and there is a bit of gap now. The French team is making some good headway as they've got advantage for early tackle. Yes, there's been an intercept, but the ref is already playing advantage. It's going to make their way back. Would you opt for the touchline kick here, or the quick tap, or a tap set play?
So the French have moved away from the line-out somewhat. They actually started off, it was going really well for them. This is a big decision for them. Obviously, with only one score on the board here, they really need to make the most of this 22-meter entry. Yep. So France will opt for the line-out.
Yeah, that's a good kick as well. Always a difficult one, especially when you have to kick it from the middle of the field. Everyone thinks that you can get the angle and make sure you get it close. It's not as simple as it looks.
Well, sure, as a fly half, you would be fully aware of the expectation
I understand
this.
the pressures of that angle. But Shooter now has got ball in hand for this French team and has thrown exceptionally well in this game. And this could be really advantageous. It'll be interesting to see if... yeah, they've managed to get that back ball. Now slightly high. As you can see, the forwards there for that French team are not getting real momentum behind it, as have the SA Schools done in their driving maul tries. Not making some real great headway. I'm not sure they've got security of the ball. Are they going to turn it over? No. And there is the turnover.
That's a fantastic maul stop from South Africa, but actually the French have sabotaged themselves. Yeah. All that spins and movement, the other three forwards were at the front of the line-out by the time they've landed.
Yeah.
So a fantastic throw, jump, and clean take at the back of the line-out, but there's no arriving players to punch it, and that's allowed the South Africans to get set, get low, and then get in and amongst it.
Yeah. And there's always that discussion about height at this driving maul, and if everyone has got height, it just means that the defenders have got less space to cover while trying to get to the back of that maul. So, and of course, you can't really get any power generated if you're at that height. So, these are little details that I suppose the coaches are going to be looking to address, as it is the Under-18 International Series taking place in Cape Town. Doyle. That short ball, just trying to get a bit of an angle here. There, swiftly executed, and that's a good exit. And again, very pragmatic. You spoke about it, that they can get loose, but they are sticking within their systems, and that's a great clearance there. Wonderful exit.
You know, to speak of the merits around pragmatism, look at the French in terms of all their quick taps. Where has it got them so far in the game?
Yeah, well, it's got them standing behind the balls a number of times, and that wasn't very favorable. Again, a quick tap chip behind their try line. But yeah, another opportunity here for a line out. Just 5 meters out from the 22. Now, there's a little sneaky one. Referee says it did go 5 meters, and fortunately, just flirting close to the touch line. Referee says play on. A lot of side movement, and they're straightening up, much needed. Of course, yeah, unsecurity. There's a knock on, and yet again, another turnover. And surely this is going to be a try, cantering in and dots it down. And we've spoken about transition and turnovers all game long. And yet another one.
Yeah, those compound errors. France had the penalty just outside the 22, took the line out. From there, they lost it. They regained the line out yet again, some 20 meters back. And then some scrappy play sees them lose possession in the middle of the field. And Barker, who really has brought some speed to this game in the second half.
Yeah, certainly so. And here is the moment where there was the shift. Barker able to be the first to recognize it. And he was able to just canter in for an easy try. And he's done exceptionally well. When you're talking about impact players, he's certainly one of them.
He certainly is. Also, just to observe there, Tabiso Simelane has come on.
Yeah.
He was injured for Craven Week. That's right, St Albans College. You'd know a thing or two about St Albans College.
Big up to St Albans old boys. Yeah, Simelane, one of your representatives, has found his way onto the field. Of course, like you mentioned, he was injured during the Craven Week, so we weren't able to see his skills.
Of course, a returning player selected to the team last year.
Yeah. Just look at that long pass. Not able to gather it in. And, of course, there is Simelane speaking to Bacon saying, listen, man, you know, don't you want to
I'm here if you
look
need
at
me.
Give me some love out here. But, you know, it's a wonderful try scored. Now they've decided to just look at innovative ways of trying to get the ball back, and they've done exceptionally well. They've got a bit of possession now, looking to get a bit of width. Unfortunately, that press defense just forces them back to go to the short side, and again, not accurate in the passing. And unfortunately, it didn't seem to be a knock-on. Hopefully would be able to have a re-look at the replay, but it just seemed like it went between his feet and bobbled around there as he recouped it. But the referee says there was a knock-on.
Yeah, but 2 consecutive handling errors now from France, all off the back of defensive line speed from South Africa. They really are coming off the line, putting them under pressure. And the pressure game being the typical South African game model. Wherever the ball is, it's under pressure. It's at the set piece, it's under pressure. It's in the tackle, it's under pressure. And there, the same thing, just coming off the line, not giving the French team time and space, not allowing them to use their evasion skills.
Yeah. So certainly at this moment, Coach James, we've got 2 yellow cards, 1 yellow card now. Certainly with the lead of 47 points to 7, surely there's going to be...
This is the one.
This is the one.
This is the one.
Okay,
let's pull the trigger. Let's go.
Let's go. Let the boys play. Let the boys play. Right, out wide now. Oh, the little no-looker. And did well. Did the captain. Doyle now just trying to evade every runner that's possibly trying to come short to get the ball out wide.
Oh.
And then there is the intercept. Now, can the French team get some width as they look to try get wide? And unfortunately, there a pass just in front of the player. Referee playing advantage here for the SA Schools team. Pick and go around the fringes. Now, well, won the race there. Some stingers going into these tackles there. Just looking to go around. Doyle now tries to loosen up. There's a little chip kick. And oh, so much space, and not able to regather the ball there. But yeah, it has come to that period of the game where it is becoming a bit loose. There's going to be more transition. There's going to be more shifts, if anything.
Kennedy, as commentators, curse, you wished it upon us. At that scrum, you said, right, let's have a nibble. And
we needed a little shift in the game, and it has come about. But speaking about players that have really stood out for you from the SA Schools side, which are those?
The first one that's jumping into my head, I mentioned obviously Yaquibus de Villiers at half-time coming into the second half, but Ethan Barker really has brought a pace injection that set him apart in this game. He's been absolutely fantastic. Boise had a very good first outing there. Doyle is certainly bringing some nice crisp passing here in terms of the second half.
Yeah, well taken there. They've already shown that they have exceptionally efficient at their driving mauls, but the French team have done well to just sort of negate that. Now the peel away as they try and make their way to try get some progress there. Yeah, good tackle. As they come around the corner, the forwards are just setting up to try just get some go forward. Doyle. Bit of footwork there, just trying to force the defenders to get some ill-timed tackles, but there's a great counter right
Yeah.
there from the French side. Quick tap is the name of the game now. There is an overlap now.
Oh.
Surely they're not going to burn it out. Oh, they had to get that ball loosened. Still are making headway, the French team. Slow ball now.
Yeah.
Referee focusing on the offside lines, and there is the intercept. Oh, is he going to allow it? Yeah, Lamla Mugagesi has touched it down again for his second try. But there was a slow ball in that ruck.
Yeah, this is
That
all.
the referee couldn't perhaps have focused at the wrong time, but not the right time for the SA school team.
Unfortunately for the French
fullback.
team there, they just got to look in the mirror. Came the quick tap. From the quick tap, they had a clear 3-on-1. Didn't play it. Off the back of the slow breakdown there. Referee hasn't seen Van der Bruin lying on the wrong side, possibly having impact. Give this try a score there. There's definitely some good hip height on that one, Kennedy.
There we can lift up the score for that dive. But he has been an outstanding player because he's been able to, whenever touches, he gets touches, he's able to execute. He is a prolific try scorer.
And I mean, you asked me that question, who stood out? Of course, who the man himself, the pocket rocket, Lamla Mgadezi.
Yeah. So there's a converted try for the Grey College fullback, and he's certainly going to be looking forward to the future within the rugby structures to see where he ends up. You have mentioned he's on his way
joining
to
the Stormers. Yep.
Oh yes. So he might as well stay down in Cape Town.
I think you should write his matric here, just be on the safe side.
Yeah, just write it down online and get his. Oh yeah, he's been outstanding so far this season, and now the French side are sort of baffled. And I suppose that's one of the questions now as a coach. Would you look to make wholesale changes to both these sides for the next games, or how do you do it? How does it work out in this series?
And there's so many different factors, depends what the outcomes are for the team. So I know with the England side, they use this as a screening. They're not as concerned about the results. They want to identify who has the skill set to be able to play. So that becomes the priority for them. And then that informs the amount of minutes that everyone plays on the field to make sure has everyone got an opportunity. I know typically in the SA under 18 team, everyone gets a start. It's just been one of the policies.
Okay. Oh, nice. Doyle out wide now. Now they're starting to find that width. And this is good space. And there it's unfortunately, the chicken wing didn't find his target. Referee says play on. It went backwards. Now, can they get the ball out wide? As the forwards decide to just truck it up to get some go forward. And certainly are doing their jobs as they're going to get some width now. There is a space out wide. Oh, slick hands as they've got the space. Simelane is in the corner. Yep, the hoops from St. Albans will be cheering there in Pretoria East as one of their favorite sons dots down. And as a return from injury, and looks like he's in good shape, does Simelane.
I'm really excited about this pass here. Was the pass. Benadine was under so much pressure to get that ball away. The defense made the decision they were going to jam him, try cut him off. But that hand speed from Benadine was absolutely fantastic.
And it's all about those pass touches. Get a number of them. He's just trying to explain to them that I need more ball, man. If anything. But that was a spectacular try. What I loved about it, the forwards did what they needed to do, and they went forward. And when there was space out wide, they were able to find.
But also just that surplus of support around Simelane.
Yeah. He's got a wonderful future ahead of him. There's Tabiso Simelane.
Will continue his journey in Pretoria next year.
Ooh. Kick was unsuccessful there, as the score has really bulged out to about 59 points to 7. As the under 18 A side players,
just watch that hand speed.
That's absolute slick there.
The hand speed from De Villiers to Benardine, and again the quick release. Of course, Barker straightening the line.
Yeah, Barker has he is climbing up the ranks of player of the match. Certainly has done some wonderful touches. Now Doyle trying to get his forwards to get some go forward again. We spoke about those structures, and this is what good sides do. They're able to just maintain structure. Doyle with a high hanging kick. It's gone the right distance because it's asked a lot of questions from this French side to just come out of position, but they've been able to get the benefit of those scraps. There's the inside pass. Has done well. Oh, the referee says it was slightly forward, but perhaps that's a way to unlock this very aggressive and very potent defense that has just shut the door down and only allowed the French side to score one try in this game.
That is, and that's every time that they've looked to make any form of incision in the South African defence has been that inside pass, typically two of your heavier forwards. But unfortunately, the handling error that creeps in after that. So if you had to, we don't have statistics available for us, but the French handling error rate is high today. Obviously, both teams have made some, but the French significantly more. There's the South African schools coaching staff, defence coach and Ronda Bosch, director rugby, Clinton van Rensburg in the background.
Yeah.
Servicing both teams.
And also it's done
great
work. What about, this penalty against the side that was under pressure. The French have decided to tap it quickly.
Amani won't be too upset about that one. He's absolutely folded his man.
Yeah, he has. Now, they're just not getting it quite right. They're trying to get the tap. Let the boys play. The score is 59-7. They're trying to speed it up. They're trying to get the point of advantage. And they've decided to kick it out, and they haven't found touch. It couldn't have gone any worse. It certainly couldn't have gone any worse.
Yeah, just a massive contrast in terms of emotions for teams here. South African, compelling performance built around the set piece, dominant scrum, dominant line out, restarts by and large majority good. I mean, they've scored from the restart at the start of the second game, combined with direct carrying in the forwards and then fantastic straightening and pace out wide with the backs. Conversely, for the French, it's been quick taps and fumbles, and they've created their own chaos from their chaos.
Yeah, well, it's been quick taps and tries against them, which leads to chaos. But, they do have an opportunity here, and great contest there. Now, will they look to move the ball here? And they're trying to get width, as they do have space out wide here. Again, just not accuracy in the passing. So catch and pass, a vital skill in rugby. And I think it's very underrated and not focused on enough, in my own opinion.
100% agree with you. Catch and pass. If you don't have the ability to transfer the ball across the width of the field accurately and quickly, that makes it very easy to defend. So obviously for Sonkonono there, he's had to try and pluck one out of the heavens.
Yeah. And of course the long skip pass that was coming from the turnover, already you're burning numbers, because as the ball is floating, a player's got to understand that the defenders drift with that floating ball, so you are burning numbers. But now the French side have got an opportunity of a scrum that has been under pressure to try and get a bit of forward momentum and even a 22 entry if that is possible. Now, but steady, they've got to get that ball, just not able to hook it, and another penalty. And they are absolute under the pump.
It's just an observation there, but Amani's folding his man, but he's also up against a loose head who's been shifted towards the tight head there in his unfamiliar position.
Yeah. So there is a bit of context.
There's a little bit of context here, but Amani can only scrum against the man in front of him, and he's certainly making a meal of it, but the whole pack is going forward. They're landing on top, landing more psychological blows, and of course, for the opposition facing Georgia, playing the South African under-18 A side then on Wednesday at Ireland, he'll be stressing about that scrum.
Yeah, certainly not finding touch from that penalty. It allows the French side to counter. And of course, because they're rushing, starting to not just get their timing right. And there is the pressure of that rush defense that has been on another level in this game. Just look at that, behind the advantage line. Double hits certainly has been a standout feature for this South African school side. Now, a bit of headway and breaking of tackles there from the French side, looking very positive as they look to now come on that short line. Little knock on, and that pretty much sums up the French side's game so far. It has been a game full of advancement error.
It is unfortunate for them, and I'm sure they'll be disappointed. The coaches will need to go back to the drawing board. They have the daunting task of England on Tuesday as we enter into our next few games. But what a fantastic day of international rugby for our viewers at home. Absolutely spoilt. Of course, this is the main game of the day.
Yeah. And of course, we can't forget that later on this evening, there is a small matter of the New Zealand All Blacks that are coming to play in Cape Town against the Stormers.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who'll be doubling up in terms of attendance, but we speak to over 30 years since a full travelling tour.
Yeah,
it is a bit of a novelty. We've got so used to this competition format. Now we have a tour.
Yeah,
got the Stormers.
You can dig yourself into that tour and get to know the players better. And I think that's the part of a tour that you get to know the full squad because you see them playing in and out. So yeah, good times, and rugby in South Africa is at a healthy place. If anything, as we can see, the score is 59-7. As Doyle now looking to see if they can get another try on the board. Wide pass out wide, and that's just haven't been accurate when it does come to this side. Perhaps there's just a bit of wind, and they've decided to play quick, have the French side, but they seem to be going backwards, especially with this defense that's been putting humongous pressure. Now to the blind side. They come. It has been one-out runners that have started popping up. You can just see how flat that whole attack has stood up. The captain has been rather gallant, and he loses ball in contact there. Now, can SA School side play this shift to their advantage? The referee says play on. Now, another shift that has gone the way to the French side. Can they capitalize? By the halfway line. Backdoor pass, and there's just nothing happening out wide, and he decides to make his way back inside. There is the counter ruck. They were able to just salvage that ball at the back of the ruck, but they are under humongous pressure of this French side as they try find some chinks in this powerful defense. There is the captain. He's done well to find space inside. There is an option, and they've done well to find a line break. Slow ball. Slow ball as they've just tried to wrap up that ball. It has gone in phases where they've sort of gone slow rucks, and they've been able to break through. Now this looks positive for the French side. They've entered into 22 now. Slow ball. The forwards are making their way, trying to get into those half gaps. Pick and go. He is isolated as he makes his way to the try line, and pick and go. Good defense as they tackle him backwards there. Oh, this looks positive for this French side as they come. Oh, unfortunately there. Why pick up with the one hand?
Disappointment.
Yeah. It has been a game where both sides have sort of really emphasized, what they've got out of the game, but this has been powerful work. Just look at this. James, talk us through this.
Yeah, the one-handed pickup, the ball's already trapped underneath the leg. You've got a spare hand available. If that was his lunch, he wouldn't have been so careless.
So my question is, why not use the other hand? Are you that tired, perhaps, not to be able to get it? I'm not quite sure, but yeah. They did well to obviously advance that way. They're showing signs that they do have some positive play.
The thing for me, Kennedy, on that defensive set was actually Ahmad Benedine made 2 scramble tackles. It was a very long passage of play, some easily north of 12, 14 phases, and Benedine with 2 crucial tackles in that.
Yeah, early hit, so a free short arm. Doyle decides to call it an end because the score has reached to 59 points to 7. And James, if we have to have a quick wrap of this game, what would be your comments?
Yeah, just a compelling performance built around the set piece, efficient in the kicking game. The constant transfer of pressure. This was then again mirrored by the defensive line speed and breakdown pressure, and then just fantastic use of all the players in the field in terms of running, scoring tries, using them all. And I think this junior SA under 18 team have done their country proud today.
Yeah, certainly. So it has been all about accuracy and making sure that you get every chance that you have and capitalize on it. That's what the SA schools side have done. You can see there in the score, 59 points.